Let's play the Oppenheimer soundtrack. 25. December 1st, 3:37. Fresh off of waking up, waking up app meditation. Yeah, morning routine. Back to Dr. John Deloney owning the stores. Oh, dude. Wow. Yeah, take that. Nah. Blue color matters, right? You highlight. Come on, man. Come on now. Page 24. It's always about that question. What do I want from my one short question? Like, what was I running from? What was I running toward? Where was I going? I mean, that is, what do you want? Just a crazier fun, more meetings, nicer suits, a recliner, retirement, newer shoes, a bigger deer hunt, better abs, more money, just kids do whatever you want. And then he said, with all that opportunity in all direction, imagine my shock when I realized I was running hard but going nowhere. Bro, there's no way this man's name keeps popping up fucking everywhere. And I had to see his name in here yesterday. This nigga Rollo May. What the fuck? This nigga's haunting me. And the Jordan Peterson, I think it was tapped into The Body Keeps the Score from that lecture, Personality and Its Transformations, lecture 1. God damn, Rollo May. A Man's Search for Himself. That's on this. It's not even on this stats. It was gonna sneak onto an audiobook list. But little funds be tight sometimes, and you'd be like, really not. Just not. But soon enough. Courage, by definition. Whether the soldier's courage in risking death or the child's in going off to school means the power to let go of the familiar and the secure. Courage is required not only in a person's occasional crucial decision for his own freedom, but in the little hour-to-hour decisions. It is time for me to be courageous. I think that's how I spent some years, with all this. To the shock of those around me and even to myself, I stepped back from the stories, the ladder climbing in the grind. I was officially off book, no script, no guide. Yeah, it's been a few years and no guiding stories, working jobs, developing that little library in the back, all these notes, all right. As we walk together through these pages, remember, focus on the stories. How powerful a line. God damn. This story that I just experienced in this relationship, to an extent, following the line of anything is possible with enough effort. You can connect to it. A person may not hear you or truly understand. You may see them being sick or just needing a little, if they would, even after reading The Left in Theory, which is on me because I got distracted by life. I should have really held that book close to heart going through these last few weeks of you wanted the best for someone who maybe wanted the best for you, and we support each other in different ways, but in the ways that you really support yourself with the whole guiding principles of focusing on things just outside of the bag. You can't get somebody to see the value. You lead a horse to water, you can't make them drink. Romanticization, man, of potential is also a story of what could be. He said, when I look at the world, at the hatred, at the dysfunction, at the disastrous mental, physical, and spiritual health, my heart breaks. All we did was believe the stories. People were just born into, what is the story that your culture tell you? The region of the planet that you're in tell you. That you're Muslim, that you're black, that you're white, that you're Christian, that as a Jewish you're the chosen one, because you believed in a book written by man. And if you were born in India, a different book written by a different man might have been more salient at the time. Born in Pakistan, a different book. You're born in California, depending on the heritage of your ethnical background, national identity. Different story, different books. Becomes your frame of reference, becomes your everything. And there's a lack of mindfulness, awareness, internal observation, interoception, and stories run rampant. I mean, if you think about a story running rampant, suicide. It's almost as if, as they say in The Body Keeps the Score, the mind is a constellation. The psyche is like a microcosm of the cosmos. Or you can just take internal family system dynamics. But think about having somebody in the family system dynamic that takes the movie Split, takes control of the light, and due to the story that it believes, because I think in Split there was a beast and yada yada, people were impure, but in depression or suicide at least, this story is harassing you, because most things generally lead to more life, or to maintaining the life. But if a story is saying, how about this, you cooked, chat, it's too late, you got played, it was your fault, you fucked, it's forevermore, the story starts to turn down the lights so much, you find yourself in a spot that it's just like, I'm tired, boss, I had enough. And if you don't recognize that objective truth that you feel because you're narrating that truth that you experience emotionally, you're validating your imagination. doesn't have to be. Yeah, but I feel. What do you feel? Awful. It's just. I mean, I know that's a weird. I'm talking about. So, what do you feel like? Well, you can feel whatever you want. You can. No, pain hurts. Breakups hurt. Change hurts. Being lied to, being cheated, being bamboozled, feeling like you missed the boat, whatever, But I think that's the real issue, is that there's a lack of, if the feeling world is tied to the unconscious, hypothetically, and the conscious is tied to just the conscious, the verbal, the linear. There's a lack of true, I think, not honest. There's a lack of, for the most part, and you can't really make broad generalizations on the planet, but I think a good amount of people in modernity, in this modern civilization, are experiencing a lack of literacy, emotionally. Literacy. Yeah. There's a book called Emotional Intelligence over there, Daniel Goleman, but I think that really worked on, the emotional and social intelligence were pretty valuable framings of what you are and how you feel. And that's the thing, people don't have idea of self. Like, what are you? What do you feel? Do you know what the concoction of things that is always moving you at any given moment, from desire to trauma to noise to a voice of the eternal family system, healed or not healed, driven, not driven, lazy, energy seeking, conserving, dopamine searching. It all boils down to that emotional literacy and your ability to be observant. And not to be observant, but to hear without identifying. You can feel many states and hear many echoes of random thoughts, but you don't have to then be like, say, grabbing a balloon and being lifted by it. You take off. You hear man, what the fuck? And I don't feel like it. I'm tired. What if? And you like grab a lever and and it will take you farther than you want to go sometimes, and leave you to fall way farther than you would want to fall. Not to say emotion is corrupting, but it is. And not to say the rational principles are all pure, but there's a balance if you're not literate to your experience. I'm getting too off track. Come on, boy, you gotta go to work. That's why you gotta start reading after. I mean, but we follow we follow recommendations of our government, media, scientists, experts who we thought cared about us, religious leaders. It's just people, and no matter right or wrong, people are just passing their stories along, their context, their frames of reference of what is and what isn't. The story being comfort. Think about that. The story we generally have stories built around comfort. Maybe of our ego, of our sensitive, damaged inner child who has reframed people, parents, problems in the world to be not there. Who knows how many ways you could reframe as a coping mechanism of can't handle or whatever, But I mean, the story brings comfort, and generally we tell ourselves things to bring ourselves comfort, because most aspects of human nature seek to be responsible, but then seek pleasure and comfort. So that world of instant gratification, of hyper-stimulating entertainment content, because it feels good, it's pleasurable to an extent, right? But again, I said all that to say, he says, when you start pulling one thread, the entire sweater can quickly unravel. And you might even want to stick your head back in the sand and return to the source that feel comfortable. Sometimes known pain feels safer than the unknown tomorrow. That is true. I mean, talk about it. Everything that just underlined it. That's the existential start. What story have you told yourself about your chosen sense of self, God, reality, what you deserve, earn, and all that you've been given because of you were born? You don't remember? You were born. You didn't earn it. Some people earned. You can't say they earned it because some people were born into cerebral palsy, bad scoliosis, bad multiple sclerosis, tumors. I've had 17 knee dislocations and surgery on both of my knees and more knee dislocations. I don't run. They cause me great pain. I walk a little funny. They look a little funny. Yeah, it sucks compared to an athlete or to a guy who wants to jog. You gotta learn how to love what you have. Though I tell you what, that's my problem. It's probably why I stayed in this shit too long anyway, because I taught myself to learn what I had very young. Coping mechanism. Fawn. To an extent, fawn. I can see variety of fawn. I like that when you say, like, hey, yo, chill, okay? This is about growth, healing, and yada yada. But each of the sections in the next few chapters are fields of study. I might address a story you've been born into on a page or two, but a motivated person could earn a PhD and spend their entire life studying the individual subject. I don't want to do that. I often find that people who are avoiding hard truths come up with complex academic gymnastics or nitpicking to avoid looking in the mirror. I do what he said I know because I do it all the time. I love this new world of like, hey, I'm not an expert, but I sure did go get a lot of them and talk to them and try to build this frame of reference. I was literally the whole let them theory. Both the problems and solutions are in the stories. I mean, you gotta remember that, man. I guess that's the hard world of affirmation too. Think about the pain on this planet. People hate themselves. They hate their skin. They hate their bodies. They hate this story. I told them I'm ugly. I'm unattractive. How many people live from that unconscious frame of reference? They may feel good with a certain shirt. The girls, oh, I got my lashes and my nails done. But you don't like your body, bitch. You know you're not what you want to be. I'm not saying you gotta be a muscle mommy or fit, but you know you're avoiding an uncomfortable truth. Oh, I got a new like dressing around, dancing around it. It's not the shoes. They're not too small. Your foot got fat. That's crazy. Nigga, stop wearing beanies because you got a receding hairline. Shit, you know. I'm comfortable in the hoodie. But there's so many dressing up of the unconscious story. Like, we can kind of feel it. Like, hold on, let me. Alright, now I feel good about myself. We gotta get better. We gotta get a deeper frame of reference. And I kind of want to be like, if people could see themselves as like a Klein bottle in nature, of nature, as nature, or God, there's so many ways to frame it. I think they can have a deeper gratitude for just, or deeper reverence for thyself to simply be, yo, what the fuck? That's why I think I gotta listen to Rollo May. But we exist. If and that's the thing about like really spending time with it. If you can't really get down to the glory of being like, I mean, cause yeah, there's pain. You might, yeah, all right, bro, you gotta pay bills. APS is calling. That car needs registration. Catalytic converter, right? That bitch lying. Your mom is sick. And this is all very personal too. I was trying to make it general. Then I was like, some of this shit kind of aligned, but then that's all based in story. And then the way you emotionally, if you're non-literate, are reacting to that, like, I mean, that whole idea of like vibration, you're constantly emitting a signal, and then the manifestation of action dependent on the emotional response to the context perceived, the story perceived, or the slither of a truth perceived that becomes that story. But if I just go back to the whole, not to get too lost, like, you gotta keep continuing, bro. You gotta stay on track, but the solutions are in the stories. How many women are looking in the mirror like, I mean, fuck comparison. The story of dissatisfaction with the self, I think, outside of, maybe not even outside of, because there's a different coping mechanism when you're a millionaire seeking to have $1 billion, or you're like, I need more money, status, goals. You may feel happy, maybe I'm going with a friend, but sometimes we understood that's keeping up with the Joneses type class or environment. But the stories of enoughness, worth, wholeness, I can't wait to read Radical Wholeness, but it's very lacking. It's not very lacking. We do so much to feel good about ourselves. Huh. Damn, maybe we're inherently nihilistic, maybe. But maybe that's why the idea of family and sacrifice and community probably like why we kept going. Like, why survive? Because my tribe, my people that I take care of. I mean, suffering sucks, but when you're not alone and you can kind of overcome together, it's worthwhile. So all in the cold, the hunts, the dark, the demons, the moving into the industrial modern era, and all the how the people had kids 2,000 years ago and go to war and deal with just existence. They're pretty. I think they just had just such a high salient of what they were fighting for. There was what am I doing this for? That person, this person. Survival makes things so much more salient that are of value and of essence. Thriving, you might as well become a hoarder of pleasures and things. Surviving, I don't know. All right. See, and this is the issue with the December 1st. We're not gonna work like this. We're gonna be reading and then having a focus rank. Stories. Turning page, your time is here. Chapter 3, stories about the world. I could have been done with 2 chapters, but I yapped too much. Let's start. Anna Del Prior was born in 1912, the year the Titanic sank. She caught the Spanish flu at 6, then got COVID at 109, or 107. She got the Spanish flu and COVID. She bitch turned up 107. She seen World War I, II, Vietnam, Korea, Desert Storm, Afghanistan, and Iraq. handwritten letters, switchboard operators, phone booths, rotary, cordless, satellite, mobile, smartwatches. God, yeah, man. Some people's eras were confounding. Just to exist, man. What are we doing here? Leave it on the first page. I only read the first page. I'll reread it. Fuck, I yapped too much. It's 25 minutes gone. I'm about to do another meditation and get ready for work. No smoking today. And daily reading with an NPC. I don't know why I chose an NPC, but I think that we're all each other's non-player characters. We're all main characters, but we're all each other's non-playable characters. Because who can you get to play as? Yourself. An NPC you can't choose as a character just as for the campaign, you know. And I didn't want to put my name Sean or some, because I'm not gonna be the famous content creator. I just want to read. In a year from now, if I have this channel and I've accrued 15 views, but I read more than the year before, then that's a success. It's the life. It's the habit. It's not my main source of income. I make nothing. I already barely make anything from my voice. My main source of income. But yeah, I wanted to have my own thing, semi-creative, that could last. Not last, but it's like, why not? You vlog enough on your phone every other month, like moments to your life, and now it's just like do it to yourself in a more, I don't know, a more tangible way. Shit gets lost in the iCloud library. The end of this month, I mean, you get home today, you should put up everything from November, and then December 1st. And in this month, you should have 31 uploads. And continuing, but it's 4:04, brother. You gotta go to work. Stories are everything. What story are you telling yourself today? Like, I can't find my map, man. Start raising the desk up. Shit, brother. The mobile desk. Yeah, brother. Where is your goddamn? Don't tell yourself a bad story, bro. What is this motherfucking? Oh, I mean, this is motherfucking bookmark. Just take that to work. But if I would take it to work, I can't read. This is the shit that I read at work. I gotta get through it. It's too much out there, baby. AI. Johnny. Until next time. Like Excelsior.